Hey, assalamu alaikum, guys. Welcome back to Sobriety Sundays. Unfortunately, today Khadir is not with us, but he'll be back next month, inshallah. Today, we're here with an esteemed guest and a great friend of mine as well. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Mariam.
Hey, Mariam, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Doing
Thank you
good?
for asking. Yeah, alhamdulillah.
So, Sobriety Sundays, what it's about, if you guys didn't watch the last episode, is we interview people that are in recovery, right? Which is a very heavy subject. And so before going forward, I just want to really thank you, Mariam, to coming out here and talking, right? Because it's very hard. Not only is it very hard, it's also very, very hard for women, right? And it's a very hard subject to talk about, you know? So like, Mariam, how was your recovery journey like for you? You know, and I know this is a lot to just unfold right in the beginning, you know. But before we'll go back and forth
Okay.
as we speak, right?
Sounds good.
But before anything, I just want you to lay it on me. As a woman, what is recovery like?
It's hard because one, you're already a woman.
Yeah.
Two, you're Muslim, and three, you're in a country that it's not your country,
Yeah,
and people don't understand not only addiction and sobriety, but people don't understand like what I went through or anything like that. And instead of helping or seeing this person as someone that needs help, they just see you as a throwaway, a discarded something. So sobriety was a very long, hard journey for me right now. I'm still going through it because I can still see how it affects me. Even doing this podcast right now, I'm thinking about,
very tense.
yeah. So it's very difficult. It's very hard, and it feels very lonely.
Yeah,
Very lonely. Like you're already an addict. That makes you lonely. But the next layer is like you don't get help. People look at you like, "What's wrong with this one?"
yeah,
And so it's difficult, and it's hard. But then you kind of have to think about it in the way of like, it makes you almost blame yourself.
yeah,
Like, am I not a good woman? Am I not known? Am I not there? You know, am I not validated enough? Not validated, more like, am I not worthy enough? So it was hard.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Mariam.
Yep.
I grew up in Minnesota majority of my life.
Yeah.
Went to school here, graduated high school here, got married here, had kids here, come from a very wonderful family.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's okay. Take your time.
I had and still dealing with a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
So that was kind of, my trauma was my gateway to drugs.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, let me dib it out with weed. Then it was drinking. And then it was, oh, let me do this now. Because the more I mastered, the more I felt better about myself. Because, again, as a woman, and especially not coming from a first generation where you don't have your parents knowing everything they're gonna deal with in America,
Yeah.
you feel alone. So it's like doing drugs made me feel better.
Yeah.
And doing something that I knew I shouldn't be doing made me feel better about myself, because it's like, well, if I was doing that way, it didn't work out, so let me try this way, without the idea I was going to become an addict.
Yeah. You didn't know where it was gonna take
No.
you. So like, while you were using, how was that like? You know what I mean? Just, I really want to dive into that because I feel like a lot of people, you know, a big, I feel like conversation people have a lot of times is that, that substance abuse only affects men, which isn't true, right? And it affects everybody. There's a lot of sisters that are out here that have been through addiction, a lot of sisters that are in recovery as well. So going into, you know, your phase of, you know, using, you know, different dibble and dabbling with different drugs, right? How was that like, and how was it incorporated into your day-to-day basis? Did people know? Was it something that, you know, you did on your own, you did with people? How did that look like in your regular day-to-day life?
one, it's gonna sound sad, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Doing drugs was fun.
Of course. Yeah.
The withdrawals and the looking,
That shit was not fun.
that was not fun.
It was ugly.
It was disturbing.
Yeah.
But
We could do a whole podcast about withdrawals, and it
yeah.
still wouldn't be enough.
And it still wouldn't be enough because
Yeah.
but it was fun though.
Yeah, of course.
You
yeah.
know, but when it wasn't fun, it wasn't fun.
Of course.
And like smoking weed and drinking it, you could do that with people, but then now you're doing pills.
Yeah.
And the time that I started doing pills, it was kind of funny. It was kind of a joke at the moment because everybody knew I didn't even take ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Like even now in sobriety, I don't even take ibuprofen, Tylenol because I'm not a pill person. I don't. When people were doing Xanax and all that, I used to be like, y'all just want to go to bed. Like it used to look at weird. And then when it started getting popular around like 2016, 2017, 2018, I was the people that used to judge people.
Yeah.
I literally was judging them. I'm like, I feel so bad because you know when God said never say never.
Yeah.
Never say never. Because I kept saying, don't never be me. I'll never do that. So when I started the pills thing, it was around 2019. And I just had a kid.
Yeah.
And I was going through a very ugly, dark phase in my life. And so I started to isolate myself.
Yeah.
And it didn't help the fact that my doctor gave me, and the thing is about drugs, people think like, oh, you go from the streets.
Yeah.
99% does not start from the streets. It actually starts from the doctor. People get in car accidents. People have babies. You know, like wisdom tooth getting taken out. All that stuff.
You know, I had a homie. I just interject, but I had a homie that was shot. Dude never used to do pills. He used to laugh at us. Mm-hmm. And I remember this is like not too long ago. Probably like 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I remember like before that, I mean, I was doing pills way before him, and he used to like laugh at us and be like, "Oh yeah, you know, y'all niggas tripping, man." You know, he used to like sip liquor, mm-hmm. drink liquor, probably smoke some weed, but that was it for him, you know. And so like I remember he was always laughing at us for popping pills, and then he ended up getting shot. And the doctors prescribed him, I think it was like the grade 20s, so the Percocet 20 milligrams. Mm-hmm. They started him off with that because he got shot in the back and he got shot in the shoulder. And so it was really painful for him. But the problem was, it was like, as soon as they had him on it for, I think it was 6 months, 6 months, and they just stopped. They didn't wean him off, lower the dosage. Yep. They just stopped it. And it was crazy because I remember I was gone during this time. This is 2019. I was in New York. No, actually, I just had went to Texas. And I remember him calling me and crying to me, telling me that he started using fentanyl. But it was because of the pain that he went through after the doctors just stopped him. Yep. After giving him consistent, like 120 like Percocets pills. Like, I think it was like, the refills was very, like, whenever you finish them. So he would take like 3-4 a day. So, I mean, what, in a month you finish it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
2 weeks.
Yeah, you finish it quick. And then they give you another bottle. And they was like you could just continue refilling it. Yeah. And then they just stopped him. Like, not weaning him off for nothing. And because of the pain that he was in with the gunshot, like the withdrawals would be 10 times worse. Oh, yeah. So he ended up doing the fentanyl, and that's how he got into the fentanyl. Alhamdulillah, he's clean now. But I always, talk to him about that, and it's crazy because I know a lot of people like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, continue.
That's what happens because these doctors just, and again, pills is something new to us.
Yeah.
We don't know that. We don't, and the thing about Somali people, and I love it, is that we're extreme. We start something, we go hard. The good, the bad, the ugly. So, like, when I got it, it was like, here, take this. And I remember the first time I took it, I would never forget the feeling I got. Because when I was in the hospital, I didn't know that was, like, the good feeling. Because I was like, yo, when I was in the hospital after I had kids, I felt like I was in a dream. And I felt like I felt happy and love. And the moment I went home, I'm like, where is that feeling? Like, and I thought I was probably going through postpartum, which I was. Mm-hmm. But the day that I got just went into the bathroom and I took my pill because I was in a lot of pain. And I remember it was the best feeling of my life.
Yeah.
Like, I found the love of my life. Mm-hmm. And it was like falling in love again.
Yeah.
And it was disturbing.
Yeah.
And it was... I can't explain... I can only explain to you it was just the best feeling, and I was isolated. I was I have anxiety. I'm the type of person I don't... Like, I have a lot of friends. I'm outgoing. But that's just masking it. but deep down inside, I'm a very like to myself person.
Yeah.
And so taking it made me feel better. Like I felt like I was a better mother. I was better this. And then as soon as the doctor stopped, I was like, oh, I need more. Like, what is this? So I started hanging out with people I would never have hung out with.
Yeah, just to do the pills.
Just to do the pills.
Like it be like that, yeah.
But there was a part of me that still felt shame. Like I don't want to be seen with these people. I don't want people to see me. So I started finding connects on my own because I was scared for people to know I was buying pills or doing that. So I used to give money to people and they go get it for me. And then I was like, that's not worth it. I need to do it myself. So I started finding connects. Then I was mostly at home. I was at home, high as a kite every day. And
It's okay.
yeah, it was a very rocky time.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to do it again, but I would love to do it again.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I feel like every person that's in recovery. I mean, like, so, you know, I'm not even going to lie to you. A couple of days ago, I had a dream. I was eating edibles and, like, smoking weed, and I woke up angry, right? But I remember in the feeling I was having in the dream, I was turning up. So I feel like a lot of people in recovery, deep down, there's part of them because it's the whole idea of, like, this is desire, right? The desire to have fun, the desire to, but you look at the bad and you look at the good, you know what I mean? So a part of you hates it because of the fact of the matter of what it took from you. But a part of you, I feel like, with myself speaking personally, I love drugs because of the fact of the matter that there was that escape. It took you away from your problems. You could do it any time that there was a problem. It was also a reward. Whenever you felt good about yourself, you just get lit. I remember there was times like I'd beat a case and I'll just get high as hell, you know, take a whole bunch of drugs because I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm not going to jail no more, whatever, you know? So, like, I feel like that's every person is like, because there's good, but the worst, it outweighs it. Like, all the bad, it outweighs it. You know what I mean? It strips so much things away from you. You know what I mean? It strips, you know, sometimes, like with me, it stripped away school. It's stripped away my family. It stripped away, you know, my job. You know, it stripped away my money, dignity. Crazy. So many different things it strips away from you. So when you look back at that, you're like, I'm not ever going back to that shit. You know? So, like, I feel like that's what's real about it. But there is a part of it, at least for both of us speaking, like, I know that me, myself personally, there's part of when I look back at it, I'd be like, damn, nigga, I was lit. I was turned. That shit was, like, fun, you know what I mean? But it's like, all of it is really a mirage, you know? It's like, you look at it and sooner or later that shit fades and you see the shit for what it really is, you know, and it's a trap.
I know that's right, because this is my second time in recovery.
Yeah. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, you know about that.
Hey, it's cool. You know, so just a little bit speaking, you know what I mean? I've known Money for about 2.5 years now, right?
Yeah.
And so, I know, me asking her these questions is more for y'all niggas than it is for myself, you know what I mean? We know each other pretty well. But why don't you tell the audience, you know what I mean, just a little bit about that, how that experience was for you? Because, you know, I feel like it's very important for people, whether they are viewers that are struggling with addiction or people that are just curious, or it's family members that have loved ones that are struggling with addiction, to understand that recovery is a lifelong journey, right? It is not something that just happens and it's like, boom, somebody goes to treatment, they're good. Because a lot of people think that.
Yeah. Like,
you know what I mean?
You just need to go get help.
Like,
go to rehab.
You go to rehab, you come out, you straight. You know what I mean? You take a little, you know what I'm saying, Suboxone or methadone, you know what I mean? Take the Vivitrol shot, whatever it may be, and boom, you know, oh yeah, my son or daughter is cured. But that's not really how it is. And it's a lifelong journey. It's
You're just
something
replacing
that
it.
you're making a complete change in your life. And it's not something that is like, it's not easy. And relapse is a part of recovery, and it's something that's very hard for people to understand. It's hard for me to understand even at times, because I have loved ones that are still struggling with addiction, right?
Even right now, I don't understand.
Yeah, it's just something that's hard to understand. It's hard to encapture. But speaking from your own life experiences, would you be able to share how that was like for you, starting from, you know, your first journey? How many times did it take you to actually quit, you know, doing what you were doing?
It took a lot. the first time when I realized that I'm in big trouble with this, like, it was towards the end of 2019. Like, I think it was like November, December. I just moved to Eden Prairie, and that's when I realized, okay, oh shoot, you're an addict, girl. You need this now. Because like I was like, the first day I was okay. The second day, the third day I was going crazy. I was like, my body was aching. I was in pain. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't be a mom. I had a newborn. He was like 9 months, 10 months. I had and I had a 3-year-old at the time.
Yeah.
And so it was like, oh shoot. And then so I found a way to, get drugs. And then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, now everybody has to stay home. And that's when the realization, like, okay, now before it was like I was going to work, taking my kids daycare, but now I'm at home.
Yeah.
I can't go nowhere. My mind started messing with me. I started believing things I wouldn't even believe about myself. I started hating myself. I felt like there was no point in me living anymore at all. Yeah. And then, but the drug was what kept me going. And then one day, I had a pill in my hand. And no, astaghfirullah. It was the day before this day. I seen your video. Sobriety Sunday, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to appreciate you for putting that out loud. Like, you don't understand how life-changing it is and was for me and still is for me to watch that, because that put me on this trajectory right now. So thank you for that. Alhamdulillah.
It was you.
I know it's me, but
yeah,
God works in mysterious ways. Like, God knew Allah knew I wanted to stop. He knew this was not for me. He just needed me to see something that was like me. I mean, you're a guy, I know, but at the end of the day, you're a Somali Muslim Minnesota kid. Mm-hmm. So I could identify, I understood. And then seeing that video, it was like, oh shoot, girl, you need to get help. Then I watched your video again, and then the third time, it was like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning. I had a pill, and I said, if he picks up, I would not do the pill. For the record, I still do the pill.
I was waiting for you to say that, because I know myself. Shit, I still would have done it.
I still did it.
I never heard this story. You know that, right? Yeah. You never told me this story. This is the first time. This is the first time me hearing it. In the back of my head, I was like, "Is she?"
I did what I did.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah.
Long story short, we had a very beautiful 2-hour conversation, and I didn't know you didn't know me, but it was the fact that you seen me and you took the time. So I was like, okay, I do need to get help. I need to do it. Then I started, you started helping me. Started doing, you helped me with the Suboxone and Wahastan. And then I did get clean. And I got clean after Ramadan. And I was in a very happy place, and I was good. And then the part that they don't tell you about sobriety is when you hit the wall.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, because now you don't have any triggers, but now because to me it was like, oh, you have this recovery. The first time was stop doing the drugs. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like get help, do the work, see it through. None of that. It was stop doing the drugs and then move on with your life. That's it. So I thought it was that. So now I'm a year sober at that time. Mm-hmm. A year sober, I don't know what happened in the situation. Oh, a Connect called me. And I was like, what? I just I blocked his number. I should have deleted it, but I blocked it. Then a couple of days later, I was in a very angry mood. The trigger came back because, your body remembers things. So your body remembers that when you're feeling depressed or anger, it wants to tell itself, okay, how do I make myself feel better? So it makes you remember the thing that used to make you feel better.
Yeah. So
I went to the thing that made me feel better. And at that time, it was Percocet. No one was doing Percocet. Now it's fentanyl.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, because I did not die. Yeah. Nothing happened to me. I was like, oh, I love this. Again, it was like falling in love. I was like, I need this. Yeah. Then I did that. And then it was just downhill from there. And I remember I was so ashamed. I didn't even want to. I remember one time I seen you at a theater and I gave you a hug. But I remember I was so high. And I just remembered feeling so ashamed that you see me that way. And I was like, why do you feel that way? then I started feeling shame that everybody sees me. Now I feel like my mom sees me, my dad sees me, my brothers see me. And then my dad came in my room one day and was like, is everything okay with you? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And everything's okay. He was like, you're not yourself. Like, because I was in pain. And he was like, he gave me money.
Yeah.
Because he knew what I was doing.
Yeah. It's okay. Take a minute.
Yeah, and then I woke up one day. It was like September 27th, 2021. And I said, I'm not doing this no more.
Yeah.
No Suboxone this time. No nothing. I'm going to go see this through. I locked myself in the house. And
How long did it take you?
I went crazy.
Yeah.
And what your viewers and the people need to understand is it was us doing the drugs is not us doing it to ourselves. It's just us trying to mask ourselves from what we're running away from.
Yeah.
But what they don't understand is the fact that when we do get clean, how hard that is.
Yeah.
Because that's a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, it's an understatement to say, oh, yeah, I woke up shaking and crying and I'm sweating and I'm shitting on myself and I'm throwing up and da-da. No, I went mentally crazy. I hallucinated. I seen my own janaza. People burying me.
You started hallucinating.
Really bad.
Yeah.
So bad for a whole week straight.
Yeah.
And then finally, when I got out of the hallucination, I realized I was hallucinating. I went to the psych ward.
Yeah.
And then I took myself to rehab.
Yeah.
And another people don't understand is that the American government healthcare system is effed up because I should have stayed for the full 30 days.
Yeah.
And my health insurance in the state of Minnesota with Health Partners is only like 25 to 26 days. So the day I was leaving, I wasn't even mentally prepared to leave.
Yeah.
I was so scared to go outside. Because being in there, I didn't have to worry about nothing.
Yeah.
But coming outside,
Just when you face the real problems.
the world scares me. It's a scary world out there.
Yeah.
It will eat you alive.
Yeah.
And but yet we're judging addicts. Yeah. You stand out there for 24 hours in the cold and tell me if you're going to feel better. Because that's how your body feels like.
Yeah.
You tell me if you can handle 5-6 days straight of migraines, body aches, everything. You tell me if you can live with yourself or look in the mirror. You tell me that. But yeah, we judge them, right?
Yeah. Do you feel like people judge you?
All the time.
Yeah.
Sober, recovery, addict,
Yeah.
mom.
How was that like? How was that like though? Throughout your addiction process and throughout your recovery, even.
It's harder in my recovery than it was in my addiction.
Yeah.
Because now I have to face it.
Yeah.
Now I have to tell them, no, you ain't gonna tell me I ain't shit. I am the shit. And actually mean it.
Yeah.
And I have to tell people, like, I've learned now boundaries. I've actually set myself up with boundaries. I don't care about no one's feelings. I never used to care, but now I really don't care.
Yeah.
Will you view me how, my nigga, you don't know what I've been through. We don't know what anybody's been through.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's already hard enough you judge me for being a mom, or you're judging me for being a woman, you're judging me for being Mariam. Every aspect of my life, I'm always going to get judged. We're always going to have that shoulder on us. And then it makes me scared, like, damn, what did our mothers went through?
Yeah.
If this is what you guys are doing to me here in this time.
Yeah.
I wonder how many voices were silenced before.
Especially women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How, I know I'm delving in, just let me know if I'm going too far. But as a mother, right? Mm-hmm. Going through what you went through, how was that? And getting out of it, also, how does that make you feel? Going through addiction throughout your motherhood, right? And then also going through recovery.
It was. Now I appreciate I always appreciate my kids. I love my kids to death. They're my world.
Yeah.
And they're the reason that kept me alive the whole time.
Yeah.
Because I kept thinking, like, if I die, somebody very close to me said one time, if you die, your kids are going to know that you died because of an overdose.
Yeah.
And you don't know the pain that you're going to inflict on them.
Yeah.
And that was the realest shit I ever heard. And it made me think, like, if I was to die, my kids were not going to be, like, they're going to be loved. They have great grandparents and all that, but they're not going to get the love that I'm going to give them, that unconditional love, that, like I said earlier, I'm their first line of defense. So if I'm gone, who's going to defend them? Who's going to be there for them?
Yeah.
Who's going to love them the way I love them? No one.
Yeah.
You know, what if someone thinks my kids are a burden? So, like, now I appreciate them. Like, I literally look at my kids and I'm like, man, how did I get so lucky to have the most incredible things in this world in my life? Like, they literally brought the shine back in my eyes.
It's okay.
Yeah, we're going to cut this part out.
You know, the crazy part is I think there's a lot of mothers out there just like you that really need to hear that and that need to see those tears.
Yeah.
Because being a mother, you know what I mean? It's like, first and foremost, I'm not a woman, but I do have a mother, right? And I know motherhood is strong. It's just hard, right? Yeah. It's very hard, especially being a single mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And more so going through what you went through. Only Allah knows.
By the way, for the record, I'm a mother that happens to be single, not a single mother.
Okay. Where's it? Which one is it? Bars. Straight bars. But we're back to regular programming. What I'm trying to say, though, is like, there's a lot of people that need to hear that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of mothers that are forced to be too strong.
Yes.
Where it's to the point where, like, they can't show any emotion. And my mother's a product of that. You feel me? So, like, I know that because I see her. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's crazy because I think I've seen more emotion out of my mother in these past few years than I have throughout my entire life. Right?
We hide it.
So it's like, and I feel like it's because I'm an adult now, right? Where parents are forced to not show that emotion. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And they're so hyper vigilant. You know what I mean? Always worried about something,
yeah,
but they can't show any emotion. So that emotion is precious, right?
Yeah.
Don't think that, you know what I mean? And I'm telling you right now, we're not finna cut that. But the reason why I'm telling you that is because I do believe that it's important. I believe it's necessary. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because there are mothers like you that have been through what you've been through. Yeah. Mothers that like you that are going through that right now. Right?
Yeah, that's true. Line.
And it's very important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the tenseness right now. Right? Mm-hmm. You're Somali. You're Muslim. Right? You're a sister. Mm-hmm. You're also a mother. You're also in recovery. Right? And I know it's hard.
It's very hard.
Right? So do you want to talk about that a little bit? Because people don't know what's been going on behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
People, you know what I mean?
You know what it is? People don't want to know.
Yeah.
People don't care to know. People just are so...
How hard was it for you to come here?
So hard.
Yeah.
I want to run away right now. I really want to just get up and be like, okay, guys, thank you.
Yeah.
Because talking about this is like...
Yo, and I want to let the crowd know right now. I did not force you to be here.
Yes, you did.
You called me. That's cat.
I'm just kidding.
You called me. You told me you wanted to come on and tell your story.
Yes, you did.
You know what I mean? But I'm saying that more so
And if you guys bring hate towards him, I'm killing you guys.
No, but like I really wanted to say that more so to for people to also understand, you know what I mean, the intensity, right? Of like you going back and forth. I want to talk about this. Oh, actually, I don't. I want to talk about this, but I'm not ready. You know what I mean? And saying that and bringing that out isn't to scrutinize you or anything like that. You know what I mean? I want to say that
we all have to do it when we're ready.
Exactly, but more so because it's important to talk about. Because I don't think that a man would have to go through all of those different, you know, transitions as much as a woman would have to.
Because I feel like men have it better in recovery. Well,
Yeah.
in Minnesota right now, Somali men have it better in recovery than in Somali women.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Way 100% more easier than us, because there was something that your mom said in that one the episode.
Ja, alcohol, yeah.
Your mom was like, the girl that she was helping, the girl, even though she has a child, her family didn't want to help her.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it is. Like, they will throw you away because you're not fitting the image, or you're not what they thought. Like, it's like, to them, it's like you're a burden now.
Yeah.
So there's no point of me associating with you no more.
Yeah.
Like, just stay away instead of bringing each other closer, because you don't know how lonely that is. It's like, remember that one clip I sent you from Euphoria? The guy said,
I was fired.
He said, disease, he's like, addiction is like a disease that no one sees.
Yeah.
And people think that it's basically like,
Literally, the verbatim he said is, people will be like, why the fuck do I want to help this person? They don't want to help themselves.
Yeah. But they don't understand, like, someone who has cancer can't help themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm not comparing the two, but I'm just saying, like, it's both a disease.
Yeah.
And they can't help for having that disease.
Yeah.
The only thing they could do is get better and heal and beg Allah to get them through this.
Yeah.
Some people get through it and some people don't.
Yeah.
That's how addiction is. It's a disease that you're born with sometimes. You're born with this generation trauma. You're born with not feeling loved or whatever. Like, even though, alhamdulillah, when I was younger, I felt very loved by my parents. And that's another stigma. People think like, oh yeah, they came from bad life. A lot of the people who are doing or on drugs came from a 2-parent household.
Yeah.
A lot of these drug dealers came from a 2-parent household.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. We've never been homeless. We never had no problems. What happened? Life happened.
Yeah.
When someone breaks their leg, it's, oh my God, what do you need? Can I help you? Can I do this? Illa until the person heals from there.
Yeah.
And they're recovered. And they're like, oh, now you're good. Alhamdulillah. Remember that time you broke your leg? Oh man, bad time. But at least I was there for you. But this is, oh, you did it. Get yourself through it.
Yeah.
But the good thing about, I call being an addict or recovery a secret society that I love to be a part of.
That's facts.
Because that community, when I was an addict, I felt seen, heard, and we were a tribe.
It's a big fact.
And now in sobriety, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I hang out with people who are in sobriety too. I talk to you all the time. I talk to other people all the time. A lot of the people who are around me are people who are in recovery. I don't really talk to a lot of my old friends because it's not hatred towards them. There's no bad beef or anything like that. It's just that what I realized in sobriety is that I had to grow away from a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. Like, my sobriety and my recovery and my addiction was it was an ugly, what did Kanye say? My beautiful twisted fantasy, dark twisted fantasy or something like that. And that's what it was. It was beautiful. It was twisted. It was dark.
Yeah.
But guess what? I made it out alive.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. A lot of people don't.
That's true.
And we'd rather sit there and laugh at them. Yeah. But the moment the person dies, Allah knows to all over Twitter, all over Instagram. Yeah. I wish I was there for them. I wish I did this for them. But you didn't, though. So live with that guilt.
How did that make you feel? How did you feel? If you could describe your addiction throughout, if you could describe your addiction, you know, throughout your addiction, if you could describe it in one word or a sentence, what would that be? Sorry, that was a tongue twister. I don't know. I had like a mind fart or something.
A beautiful chaos.
That is like some Joker shit from Batman.
Mm-hmm. Because it's very chaotic.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was symbolic almost.
That's facts.
Like, I wrote a letter to my to the bills. I was like, you know, I love you. See you next time. Maybe never.
Do you want to read that?
Not right now. I don't have my phone on me.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
That is true.
And I don't like people knowing I write.
Yeah, that would have been beautiful if you could share it. But that was a letter to your future self, right?
No, it was my old self. It was me on. It was. I wrote a lot of things, but this one in particular was just it was to the drugs.
Yep. I remember you writing that.
Yeah, it was like me breaking up. I needed to break up with them because one of my good friends, like, I did that. I'm like, oh, okay, let me piggyback off that. And I felt better. I wrote it, and after I was done with it, I felt like it was a good closure I needed.
Yeah.
Like, it was good. And with sobriety, you have to find an outlet too, like something to bring you back to yourself, make you feel safe, and like, because you feel alone the whole time.
Yeah.
So writing for me was my one area that nobody can judge me on, nobody can look at. You're the only person, and one other person I've ever shared any of my work with, because it's me, it's for me.
Yeah.
You guys took everything else from me, but this one thing you guys cannot take from me.
So what is one thing, or it doesn't have to be one thing, but if you were to talk to yourself a few years ago, I mean, what would you say?
Oh my God, so much things. Just to be easy on myself.
Yeah.
Love myself.
Yeah.
It's okay to be a good person in this bad world. Mm-hmm. Don't take everything, like, and when people are overthinkers and people who analyze things too much like me, I thought everybody hated me, even before I was an addict.
Yeah.
So it was very,
I felt like that too.
Mm-hmm. So I would tell myself, like, you are loved. You just got to go where you need to be celebrated and not tolerated. So that's what I was doing. I was going, stop being a people pleaser.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing I would have told myself. Because if they're not giving 100, you don't need to give people 100.
Yeah.
And because I was always there for people and people were not there for me, it kind of took a toll on me.
Yeah.
And I'm the oldest of 6.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone expects me to be strong.
Yeah.
You don't have to be strong. And that's what I loved about being in rehab. That was the one place that I was allowed to be weak. I was allowed to rest. I was allowed to think about myself. I was allowed to, people gave me the grace and the kindness to show mercy on me.
Yeah.
That's why I was so scared to go outside. I'm like, I want to go in there. This is where I feel safe. So it just, I would told myself to find people that love me. And even if they don't, it's okay. It's okay. Well, that's how it has. Yeah. As long as Allah got you, you love yourself.
If you were to be back in the past and you seen yourself now,
I've been so proud of myself. I've been like, I knew you were that bitch from the get-go. I knew it forever and ever.
Yeah.
Like, I would have told myself that. The funny thing is, I literally am, like, I'm living the life that I imagined for myself before I got on this.
Yeah.
Just being happy, doing me, just living my life, being around amazing, great friends, actually having a career, so I'm living the life that I knew I was going to live, and I wanted to do it, but I was so scared because of the app culture, and I didn't want to get divorced. I wanted to be that good girl, even though I was a bad girl, but it was just, I let society dictate me so much to the point it crippled me and paralyzed me.
Yeah.
Basically, society, it's your fault I was an addict.
Yeah. I get you.
Can you hand me the Vaseline?
You can do it the Vaseline.
My lips feel like it's chapped because I'm looking at it. I get nervous.
Okay.
Vaseline over there.
The last thing I want to ask, and we're gonna just wrap this up, is
I thought you had that big Vaseline. I'm
gonna steal this from Muhammad. You know what I mean? First off, shout out Split Second Productions. Shout out my boys.
Thank you,
everything here is their equipment, and they've allowed us to use it, inshallah, for the foreseeable future. And
He said he's gonna record my wedding.
Inshallah. And so, like, let's get practical, right? Is what I was trying to steal from Ghost Talk, which is an amazing podcast. Y'all should check it out, especially my episode. It's right there on there too. You feel me? Giving myself a little shout out. But
shameless plug. Go ahead, King.
exactly. There you go. But if you were to give out 3 advices to somebody who's struggling, that was in your shoes, right? Whether it's a mother, whether it's a young girl, whether it's a brother, whether it's any person that is going through addiction, who feels lost, who feels hopeless, who feels like society dictates them on how to act, right? Who feels ashamed, what would you tell them?
That's a very heavy question.
Take as much time as you want.
One, I would say it's okay to get the help. Because I know in the beginning it was like, oh my God, I'm so scared. I don't want to do it. But then you're not scared to do the drug.
Yeah.
Just get help. I know it doesn't sound easy, but it is actually easy. And on the great word of the Rahman was be kind to yourself.
Big facts.
Because that's something Abdurrahman was telling me a lot in my recovery, guys. Like, whew. Me and him, I used to look at him like, bro, stop with these cliche,
Like, what's this nigga talking about?
I used to be like, this is so
Every
cliche.
nigga says that shit. When I say some shit to them, they be like, bro, you
so
always
cliche.
got some shit to say, bro. Yeah.
But then a couple months later, I'm like, Abdurrahman, you remember that time?
Allah, you do that shit. All the time. And I'll be like, what did I say to you? And you'd be like, you remember that one day? And I'll be like, oh, yeah.
Me and Abdurrahman be having our funny ass nighttime talks. But I would have just been like, yo, get help. Be kind to yourself. It's okay to be in this disastrous mode.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you need to destroy yourself.
Yeah.
So you can, rebuild yourself up.
Yeah.
It's okay to, like, I'm not say toxic or chaotic, but more like it's okay to, whatever you're going through right now and how you're feeling right now is validated.
Yeah.
It might not be facts, but it's validated. And it's okay. It's your truth. And once you become sober, your truth might change again. You might thought this person was a villain this whole time, but then once you become sober and you realize like they were just giving you tough love, and now you have to rebuild it. And another thing is, once you become sober and you healed and you love yourself, motherfuckers got to reintroduce themselves to you now.
That's big facts. Like, this is not who I was, a couple
You don't
years
know
ago.
this person.
It's a whole new nigga.
Don't play with me.
Yeah, big facts.
Stay your ass over there.
Yeah.
If you're going to come to me correct. Like, there's some people, wallahi, but I walk dead past them.
Yeah. Don't even
Yeah. Musalami. If they said assalamu alaikum, well, assalamu
Okay,
alaikum, but that's it.
That's it.
Other than that,
I don't know
I'm
you,
not,
nigga. You don't know me.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was because I remember they were talking shit about me when I was in that. Even though these people didn't know nothing about me.
Yeah.
They barely see me, but they decide to talk about me. And then now that I'm sober and I'm doing good, you want to talk to me?
Yeah.
No, baby, you don't have to reintroduce yourself to me.
Yeah.
My name is Muddy. What's your name? And I'll dead walk past you. Like, someone texted me one day. They're like, hey, Muddy, I want to hang out with you. I wrote, who's this? I got their number saved. Because there's no point. I'm not going out of my way no more. I'm protecting my energy in myself. I come first. No, before I'm a mom, before I'm a daughter, before anything, I'm Muddy first. In order for me to be all those people, I have to choose myself first. And that's something I never used to do, and that's something I'm doing now. I'm choosing myself first over anything, over my kids, over my mom, over anything. It's the only thing that's above me is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you gotta have to. It's not acting brand new.
You gotta love yourself.
You gotta love yourself. Yeah. And fuck what people gotta say about you. They're always 100%. Gonna talk good or bad. They're gonna praise you today, video call, and the next day, like, people are just so fake woke all the time, and they choose to go back and forth with you. And I'm like, bro,
yeah,
get off that.
Whether you're doing good or bad, that's a big fact.
Yeah. You can help that community. Yeah. You can hurt and another thing that bothers me is people rather shame the addict but not the dealer.
That's a big fact.
They rather, oh, he's just selling this, he's just selling that, he's trying to make money. But y'all are not calling these niggas out, but y'all want to talk shit about these people who are actually need the help.
Yeah.
But the dealers, y'all gonna post them, be like, yeah, big home and this, all that. Y'all gonna be like, yeah, free. When the person gets like, free them.
Yeah.
But you don't know if that person just killed 4 people and overdosed them. Mm-hmm. But that's your big homie, right? Yeah. I bet. But what Devonta didn't, Shirley didn't, everyone didn't. Just a few people posted that.
Yeah.
Y'all rather shame us and praise them.
Yeah.
How does that work? The math ain't math, and I need to know how does this working.
A lot of naughty stuff.
That's all of them, man.
You know, as a woman, I just want you to just, because we spoke about everything, but I just want you to just give one last advice before we wrap this up to a sister. Now imagine there's a sister right now, and she's struggling, right? She's going through the shame. She's going through the hurt. She's going through being alone. What would you tell her?
I thought about this question so many times because this year alone, I know 5 girls that passed away.
Yeah.
And one common denominator in their story is they're all died alone.
Yeah.
Either in the house alone or well alone. This is a very big deal, like people going through drugs and all that, but we really, really need to protect, again, protect Black women.
Yeah.
We need to feel protected. We need to feel loved. Allah SWT said, with women, you can be hard on and gentle with them. Yeah. There's a reason why Allah said that we should be guarded. We're not the guards.
Yeah.
It's not our job to go protect you guys. It's your job to protect us.
Yeah.
And this community, I forget this community, but I would tell that girl, or any girl, it's okay to be alone because Allah has you.
Yeah.
I'd rather be alone with Allah than be around 100 fake people that don't love me and don't care for me. Because even being with them, I'm still alone.
Yeah.
Find the help that you actually need. Get a therapist.
Yeah.
I love my therapist. I got her on speed dial. I'm going to talk to her after I'm done with you.
Yeah.
So for the aftercare feelings, you know what I mean? Look after yourself. Love yourself. Like, I know how everyone's doing this term, soft life, Yes, be weak. Be fragile. Be delicate. Don't be hard on yourself. And get the help. Because if you don't get the help, you're going to be stuck.
Yeah.
You cannot do this. Oh, trust me. For me, I thought I could do it alone, and I couldn't. You had to leave. Everybody had to find sobriety. Addiction to sobriety is different on everybody.
Yeah.
So just get the help that you know you need and how you wanted to get help. That's it. And the rest of it, everything else is going to fall in place. But you have to get the help first for everything, because you can't be a mom, you can't be a sister, you can't be a daughter, you can't be a wife, you can't be anything if you're not yourself.
That's big facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for coming out here. I know this was hard. You know what I mean? I know it's very hard. Wallahi, you might think that I don't know how hard it may have been. And I don't completely, but I do understand how hard it is as a sister to come out, right?
Very hard.
As a mother to come out, right? As a Somali woman in recovery to come out. That's not easy, right?
It's not.
And so I just want to tell you that thank you so much for coming out here, right? And sharing your story, right?
Because I told people I wanted to do this for a minute, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people kind of were like, no, let Abdurrahman do it. It's not your place. And it kept bothering me, but sisters are dying.
Yeah.
People are dying from this alone.
Yeah.
And it pissed me off. They kept like, oh no, don't do it. Think about this, think about that, think about this. I'm like, if I die today, just say alhamdulillah, astaghfirullah, but if I die this very second right now, what is the legacy I'm leaving behind?
Yeah.
Who am I if I know I've seen sisters every day dying? I'm seeing brothers on the streets, people I know, homeless now. When did we become like this, people?
Yeah.
Where we're attacking each other and not helping each other. like that whole, like the Somali songs, Somali Toso, lean on each other. Let's move forward, but let's lean on each other. We don't even do that here.
So to discutir se.
You know what I'm saying? And like that bothers me. So like I wanted to do this because it was like, yes, I know I'm gonna have anxiety. I know some people are gonna be like, whatever. It is what it is.
Like you told me you're gonna deactivate your Instagram.
Oh yeah, unless you're a man, come holla at me.
Shameless plug again. But
call me Miriam.
Anyways, thank you so much for coming on, and inshallah, there will be many more episodes to come. If you want, we'll put your social media on there or anything that you want. Shameless plug. If not, that's
if you're
cool.
6 feet and above, holla at me with a beard.
Anyways, guys,
my DMs are open.
big shameless plug. But anyways, thank you guys. Inshallah, we'll start doing this more. I know the audio is 10 times better now, so inshallah, we'll continue to do this. You'll catch us on YouTube. You'll catch us on Spotify. Clips of it on Instagram. Everywhere, inshallah. So thank you guys so much. Assalamu alaikum. Wait, hold up.
So corny.
Hey, let's stand up.